Hi, I'm Sarah Belcher, and I'm bringing this word to you really with a sense of urgency, having prayed about it and spoken to wise people I'm accountable to, as always. There's a sense that this is a now word, that perhaps it's something we can consider and pray through together before we cross over to whatever is ahead. What I saw was a vast army of angels in the sky, and they were overlooking what was like a scene from Exodus 13 where God had parted the Red Sea. The angels just filled the sky, and they were watching and waiting. And then I saw people who were crossing over the route where the sea had been parted, where God was clearly holding the sea back for us, his church. And these people had carts. And then I saw that a wheel had come off the cart in the front. And this meant that some boxes had fallen off. Some of the boxes that were on the cart that looked like old luggage had fallen off and were on the ground. And others were in a precarious state. And I took a look at some of these boxes. I was shown what was in some of them. And some of them were holding trophies and idols and things like that actually I knew should have been left behind. They were things that should have been discarded before the journey was made. There was a sense that people hadn't really been prepared and checked the carts over, and actually that these boxes that should have been left behind had contributed to the fact that the wheel had now fallen off. And then there were other boxes with old treasures in that really needed to be kept safe and needed to be able to be taken to the other side as we crossed. And I saw a cart behind the first cart, which was full of babies. Now, the babies, I believe, represented those who had come to faith during this season, those who were baby-like in their faith, those who had just started their journeys of faith. But also it represented, I believe, the things that have been birthed in this season. There's so many precious things that have been birthed in this season that God has done. He's been doing a new thing. And I believe that the babies also represented the things that had been birthed. One thing I noticed about the cart with the babies in was that sadly it was held up. It wasn't able to cross as quickly as it may have done because the cart in front was broken. I noticed that there were people who I believe were intercessors lining the shore on the side that people were crossing to, and they were praying the cart safely across. I could tell it was just a really important time as the intercessors prayed the carts across to safety. Some of the angels were helping to fix the cartwheel, which was great. And I saw that some angels were dispatched to watch over the babies, which was really reassuring. But most of the angels were still stationary, watching and waiting. I wondered what they were doing, but soon saw that they were watching what appeared to be enemy disguised in the mountain rocks on the side that people had come from. The people had no sense of urgency, certainly not the same as when Pharaoh was chasing people across the sea. There was no sense of urgency, although I felt like there probably should have been. And I kept hearing, "Know the enemy, know the enemy." There didn't need to be a sense of fear at all, but there did need to be an awareness of an enemy behind us and a focus on God's presence ahead of us. And Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6 came to mind. "Trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." I also saw in the distance on the other side a camp that was set up in readiness for those who crossed over. And there was a real sense of celebration. People were telling stories of God's love and faithfulness around campfires. And I knew that the babies were going to find a safe place there in family as part of that camp. I also noticed that the camp was definitely temporary. And I knew that this was just one chapter, that there's more to come.